I'm wondering if you have a little example or something tucked away inside your memory palace of, like, some feedback that somebody may have given you based on the email sequence, maybe a participant or somebody who was considering and they got kind of into the onboarding sequence. I'm wondering if you have just a little anecdote about what somebody has said and kind of that brings to life what you were trying to accomplish through the sequence of
That's a
emails.
that's a really great thing to bring up. So the first time, and there's been many instances, the first time we had somebody say, I've never had an onboarding sequence like this before. I'm in sales and I feel so supported and I'm blown away. I remember doing a little silent yes at my desk, right? And since then, I have had the most amazing stories of people. A lot of times it's people that during the pandemic were out of work, very much felt like they were down on their luck, knocking on all these doors, applying to postings on LinkedIn, no response. All of a sudden they sign up for our training and we're like, hi, what's your motivation? We want to get to know you. We also have a video, which I think is key, right? These are not like static emails. We have a lot of different content that we're using, but one is a video sequence. And they're like, thank you so much for taking time out to get to hear, to learn more about me. And what does that say, Gabby? I mean, it tells you probably, for me, it told me how overlooked, we talk a lot about personalization, but do we actually do it in marketing? Right. Or are we so busy with the deliverables and the need to get 5 emails out over, a 14-day period that we forget that we're talking to real people and that emotion with just a simple open-ended question is there.
Yeah.
So
in my role here at Proofpoint, I am, it's funny for me to say this because I haven't yet put it on LinkedIn. So I'm like nervous about it, but my role is Chief Experience Officer. And I look at, ultimately what I'm responsible for are the touch points coming in and out of the company, both with internal team, like our proof pointers, our employees, as well as clients, vendors, partners, etc. And for me, there's nothing more important, both as a consumer and as a marketer, those touch points. What are you experiencing with the company? What are you hearing from them? What are you learning from them? What are they giving you? What are they asking you? And I think that especially in SaaS, and I would say probably also in B2B in general, oftentimes we spend a lot of time in the sales process because we just have to. There's some pretty decent amount of time spent in customer service if something goes wrong or if it's time for renewal. But then everything kind of in between, depending on the kind of business you're running or the model that you have, sometimes we forget that we're actually dealing with real people. And those touch points, once you've secured the deal, once you've secured the client, those touch points afterwards are so important and so critical to the life cycle of the client, their success with your product or service. And I think, you asked me, what does that tell you? That tells me that in general, as marketers, we need to be doing a better job of nurturing our leads once they become a client. Once we've, completed the sales cycle, what does the actual cycle look like once they become a client? And so I love that was one of the first things that you guys thought about and really put effort into, and that has clearly made a difference not only for your revenue model, but also in the experience that your clients are having with Aspireship.